Hey guys, what's going on? Sincere here with whoissincere.com and the All Rights Matter show, sponsored by MCAFamilyFirst.com. Check it out. Listen, ever since last night, there's been an issue brewing on social media that's being centered around the Harker Heights Police Department. This is down in Texas. So, some photos came out. Let's go to those photos real quick if we can. Lee Merritt, a lawyer, I guess he's a nationally known lawyer. Honestly, I don't know a lot about Lee Merritt, but from what I hear, he's a good attorney. Um, Put out a post, and it just happens to say, this happens every day all over the country, but you never get used to it. Pisses me off every time. Thank you to everyone that helped get Leah in contact with my office. We are going to get justice. And that's January 1st, 2018. All right, so it says Harker Heights Police Department Officer Wood must be fired and criminally charged immediately. There is no reason for delay. These are the facts. Leah rode with her boyfriend to a local ER after New Year's Eve party so that someone could look at his eye, which was injured at the party. She sat in the passenger seat of the car and fell asleep while he went inside. He had been drinking. She woke up to a white male officer dragging her from the car and banging her face into the concrete while accusing her of DUI. She was taken to jail and was further physically assaulted by the officer. She identified his badge number as Officer Wood as she tried to explain she was not driving. She doesn't know how to drive. This was not her car. Leah was not charged with DUI, but she was instead mischarged with public intoxication in a bizarre attempt to justify her unlawful arrest. We demand Officer Wood be terminated and criminally charged for this attack immediately. And here goes the photos. Caution, warning to those who are sensitive to this kind of stuff. I've been doing it a while. I'm a little bit desensitized to it, just to be honest with you. But to those of you who are sensitive, caution, warning. But these are the photos. They're a little bit sensational, but you can see a very beautiful young lady in this upper left photo here. And if you look to the right, you can see the marks that are around her eye. Her eye is obviously, blackened and puffy and closed. I'll try to zoom in a little bit so you can see it better. All right. Now, what people are saying, these are obvious bite marks as well. So people are wondering, where did the bite marks come from? What kind of vicious beating was this that you could be punched in the face and bit in the head and all of this crazy mess. But and this is the beautiful young lady. All right. And her name is Leah. We don't have a last name, not as of yet anyway. I haven't been able to uncover a last name as of yet. Just like I haven't been able to find a first name for Officer Wood. So go figure. I don't know. But I'm sure all that stuff will come out soon. So, they're pretty much saying Officer Wood attacked her while she was in the car, while she was sleeping. She was drunk after a New Year's Eve party, and while her boyfriend was in the ER. So, she was unaware of, I guess anything going on, and she was awakened from her sleep, drug out the car, and her face banged on the cement. Now, there's a lot of confusion. People don't know where the bite marks come from. They want to know, hey, if this officer bit her in the head, that's obviously, a misuse of force. At the very least, a misuse of force. But it's definitely an offense that's going to be fireable. I mean, you don't have to wait. So with that being said, there's tons and tons of comments here. I'm not going to go through all of these comments, but I'll leave links, to this actual post so that you can hop on this post and check it out yourself. Um, the Harker Heights Police Department did come out with a statement today, and we'll go over that statement. Um, Actually, we'll go over that statement right now. So, if we go down to that statement for the Harker Heights Police Department, it's a very generic statement. I know I had some choice things to say on here, and I'll show you that in a second. But it says the Harker Heights Police Department is aware of the incident that has been referenced by some in social media. It was reported to the department by the complainant and is currently under review. which takes some time to complete. Remember that not all information posted in social media is accurate, and caution is encouraged for that reason. The comments are, of course, what the comments are. Fire him. He needs to be fired. If you're wondering what to do, fire him. Show the body cams. Blue Lives Murder. I thought that was an interesting spin on BLM. Just another police department protecting its criminals and thugs in blue. That's a sentiment that I actually share a lot of. So I'll actually like that while I'm doing this video. But, you see that there's a lot of people that are supporting, the fact that the officer should be fired. I believe that if he did any of that abuse to her face, he should be fired. That's just my opinion. If I want to see hospital footage, I want to see body cam footage. If any of that is available and exists, I want to see it immediately. But if he did any of that to her face, yeah, then that's a small woman. She's not a big woman that's just it's raining down blows on him or anything like that. So for her to look like that, it lets me know that she was in some kind of a battle. Now, I want to be very clear. I've had, I'll show you, I've had a strong reaction to this, and it was not an uncommon thing for me to have a reaction like this, because I always put out strong statements because I have a different way of looking at these situations. So I'll read to you what I wrote. Where is Officer Wood's favorite bar? What gym does he work out at? Does he have a family? All questions I want to ask when I see photos that I just saw. Do I advocate violence towards Officer Woodchuck, the biting freak? No. But I do think it's time to disturb his daily routine and make his life just as uncomfortable as he made that young lady. If you happen to bump into this rogue officer or his family, be sure to let him/them know what a POS he is. Feel free to post it to YouTube with the hashtag All Rights Matter and hashtag ARM. Why? Because our constitutional, godly, unalienable rights, are the only thing that binds us all together. And it's precisely what these power-hungry pricks want to take from us. It's time this country honors the Constitution above the quote-unquote law. And it's very true. It is time that we honor the Constitution above the law. I know that's a strong statement, and I intended for it to be a strong statement. I intended to be, to have a shock value to it, if you will, but I also intended to let the reader of that statement know this is not a violent statement. I'm a non-violent person. I do believe in proper defense. And I do believe that everybody should be to have professional training on how to protect yourself. I believe that if you're protecting yourself from anybody that wants to take away your constitutional rights, I don't care if it's law enforcement or just some random street criminal, it doesn't matter. You should have protection to learn how to defend yourself in any situation so that no one can take your constitutional rights. So that's where I stand on that. And that goes for anybody, including, against law enforcement officers. They are not allowed to take your constitutional rights either. And there's case law that provides a clear path to understanding this argument that I'm giving. I'm not saying this out of the thin air. If you like, I can find the court cases for you, list all the court cases. We can have a conversation about it. But it's very clear that you are allowed to defend yourself against criminal activities and someone taking your constitutional, godly, unalienable rights away from you. Okay? So, with that being said, I did get a posting on that. I'll read that to you. Said, and you're posting this on on a police department social media page? Sounds like you're advocating violence to me. Why don't you take a step back and allow the investigation to proceed and let all the facts come out? You normally get trolled like this. This is normal. I'm not, I don't have thin skin, so this was very kind of a weak comment. But I let Joseph know, I really don't care what it sounds like to you. It sounds like guerrilla journalism to me, and I was very clear about my nonviolent position. So if you can't read, that's not my problem. Go invest in My Baby Can Read, do some of the exercises, and then come back when you can better comprehend English. Investigate that. Thank you and have an excellent morning. So that let Joseph know, he's pretty much irrelevant. And at the end of the day, not only is he irrelevant, but it's very clear that I want people to take video. This is what I'm talking about. We need to, when I say guerrilla journalism, we need to put the camera on the corruption. Listen to me. Put the camera on the corruption. These people that are killing us and that have badges on, they live amongst us. They're not strangers. They're not aliens. They shop at the same grocery markets that we shop at. They go to the same gyms that we go to. Their kids are in the same schools as our kids. I'm not saying badger these people day and night, but I'm saying if you see them, hold them accountable. Walk up to them with a phone in hand, recording. Hey, I'm recording you. I want to ask you about what you did to that young lady. Why did you beat her face up like that? Do you think that was excessive force? And if so, why do you think so? At the end of the day, when a person is suspected of a crime, a person who's not in law enforcement is suspected of a crime, they have no problem putting his or her face, all over the newspapers, wherever, kind of destroying that person's life before they even have a trial. Okay? So don't let anybody tell you that you can't ask questions to these cops and put them in a public light. It is what it is. They can be asked questions as well. So, there's that. I'm fully for, bringing these people out. It is what it is. Put a camera on the corruption. You have to do that first and foremost. You have to make these people feel uncomfortable about committing actions like this. If they're doing it more, that means they're becoming emboldened. That means that they know that they have a 97% chance of beating the case. And I think it's actually a little bit higher than that. But they know, well above 90% chance that they're going to beat the case. So they feel emboldened. But in the court of public opinion, if we can start indicting and shaming these people ahead of time, and letting them know we're going to hold you accountable for everything. If you're a good guy in the community and you're not out here abusing people and you're pretty much, quote unquote, a nonviolent cop, which I don't see it, but if you're that person, then hey, welcome to the community. Let's talk, let's, whatever, help you do your job. You help the community along and help the women and children of the community make sure everything is safe, because you're always going to have a criminal element in all communities. Hey, then that's a cool level of communication. But I think we're very far from that in most communities. I'm just going to be honest with you. So it sounds good, but it's just not happening in most places, because a lot of these guys, they've turned into bullies. Not that they've turned into bullies, they've kind of always been that way. It's just getting a lot more airtime now. So put a camera on the corruption, okay? Let's get out of here. I just didn't want you guys to go to the page and see this and be like, oh my goodness, what is this all about? But there's actually people that thought it was, that kind of thought that was funny too. And it is kind of funny. But anyway, let's go back. So let's get out of here. This is a pretty lame statement, but, this is all police departments really need to do. Statement just to cover their ass, because a lot of people, such as myself, we're starting to comment on the situation. And a lot of people are having a lot stronger reactions than myself. I can tell you that now. I am not for the offensive against police officers. Please do not go out here attacking these police officers and thinking that you're going to get the upper hand. These are militarized police, and they were militarized under Obama. So, enjoy that for the people that love Democrats. That's why you got to put your love for Democrats away. You got to put your love for Republicans away. What it is the establishment, Democrats and Republicans working together to, slowly bash in the head of the working class individual and of the lower income individual. And we're being beat into economical submission, economic submission, and submission in so many other ways, psychologically. And this is not the United States that we're supposed to be living in. We're supposed to be a lot better than this. We're becoming a very brainwashed and broke down country. But yeah, so these photos were just horrendous. Absolutely, horrendous. This is taken over since last night. And, let me tell you something here. There's a twist in the story. Okay? Officer Wood, we're not going to say he's going to walk, but he's going to get a twist off of the story because there's a female by the name of Joyce Juicy J. Stevens who is saying Leah either jumped two girls or Leah and a friend jumped a girl. As I wrote here, either way, it doesn't sound right. It doesn't look right. I personally think the cop incident happened, and that's why the lawyer took the case. Think of how callous it would be for an attorney to post something like this. I think the attorney knows all the answers. A press conference is necessary. Screenshots below. So Joyce Juicy J. Stevens had put up a post, and since I haven't been able to find it, so I'm going to assume that she actually deleted her post. It was getting a lot of attention really fast, and I even asked a question in there. I haven't provided that screenshot in this thread, but I do have that screenshot because I was asking her, "What are you saying? Leah beat up two girls?" So this girl Joyce ended up posting, pretty much that her friend is the one that got in a fight with Leah, and that Leah had jumped her friend, and something about it being her best friend and Leah's boyfriend's wife or something like this. I don't know, just a whole drama fest of stuff. But what I can tell you is what Joyce was posting up between the pictures of this girl who looked like she got beat up pretty bad, and the pictures of this girl, which is a different girl. Nobody is really clear about what Joyce's intentions are in this situation. Now, that may come to the benefit of Officer Wood as far as muddying the waters. My whole thing is if Leah jumped both this girl and this girl, I don't know how she did that. I'm just be honest with you. I have no idea how she would have done that. And then she end up, being beat up like this as well. Especially, the girl in this top left-hand photo. Imagine the girl in this top left-hand photo jumping this girl and this girl, and then beating both of them up. I don't know. Or Leah and one of these girls jumping one of these girls. Everybody's just way too beat up. So I don't know. I don't know what this Joyce Juicy J. Stevens chick is trying to do. But people were calling her out, and someone said, "This is not the same girl." And Joyce Juicy J. Stevens said, "I never said it was. This is the girl she fought with that night." That's really not clear. This is the girl Leah fought with that night. This is who fought with. There's 3 girls now that are in this situation. So I don't know. And somebody else had another point and said, at some point in time she came in contact with any officer, correct? How do you know nothing was done to her after that altercation? Which is a very good point. She can't lie about a whole interaction with an on-duty officer and get away with it. So yeah, there's that. And then there's another girl who was heavy on the thread, Jasmine Garner. She was saying, "Girl, I'm so lost as to what you're trying to prove." So this Joyce Juicy J Stevens was all over the post, and then she disappeared. So she came in, she caused for confusion for, I don't know, good half an hour or more, maybe an hour tops, and then there was no more posts from her. Um, there's a lot of people that kind of thought she was suspect. So, they were calling her out for that, and not understanding where she was coming from. She didn't provide really any clarity. And people are, I guess, we're going to be looking out to see if there's any clarity on that. Um, these are my posts on it. Somebody asked me a good question. They said, why would it be an attorney that practices law in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and not one that knows Texas law? And I said, great point, Debbie. Maybe he travels for his cases. Not sure what states he's licensed in, but it's worth investigating. And, I thought it was worth investigating. This person was saying here, Mr. Merritt's, this person here was mad at me because they thought that I was trying to post these pictures, in support of Joyce Juicy J Stevens. And I had to let the girl know, no, I'm not posting them in support. And whatever, we had a back and forth, an exchange over that. But so at the end of the day, folks are kind of confused, like, why is there three girls? What is this Joyce Juicy J Stevens character trying to say? Let me be clear about it. She was not a witness. She herself says that she was not a witness to this. I have more screenshots. I've just posted these few screenshots. So at the end of the day, again, she was not a witness. She says that she got the phone call from this girl. I believe she went to go pick this girl up, and after the fight was over. So she didn't see anything happen or anything like that. This girl wasn't screaming out, hey, tell him it was Leah, or, anything like that. And I think somebody says something about that. Nothing here says, girl, tell them I did that to her, not the cops. It's just you saying what you want us to believe happened. She doesn't even say, girl, she a liar. Nothing to prove, everything is false, but your statements seem real suspect. So the girl Tamika was coming, at Joy Stevens, like, hey, your friend in these text messages wasn't even really saying anything that saying anything was false. So what are you really talking about? Um, there's that angle as well. So I'm going to be watching this, closely here. A lot of people now have their eyes on the Harker Heights Police Department. We want to know who Officer Wood is. A lot of us want him fired. I know I personally want him fired. If he did anything at all to this girl Leah, I don't think that he needs to be on the force anymore. If the story is true as far as her being just sitting in a car, and there's no disorderly conduct or anything like that, and just sitting in a car sleeping and then being drug out and beat up, hell nah, that's crazy. As crazy as it sounds, it's not really that crazy. It happens every single day in America. Cops are beating up people in America every single day. There's not one day in America that goes by that cops are not beating someone up. Not one day of nonviolence from police officers. Know that. Okay, their rates of violence against the public are astronomically high. Astronomically high. So if you have an altercation or argument at your house and there's no violence, all you need to do is call the cops. When they show up, there'll be violence. Okay, so that's normally how that goes. I guess in the situation it's similar to that. The boyfriend was inside the emergency room getting his eye checked out from something. Maybe it could have been from the fight that Leah was just in. Maybe he broke it up and got poked in the eye or something. I don't know. And while he was in there, the police officer came outside and saw her and, beat her up. So, which would be a crazy turn of events just all the way around, just a lot of violence going on that night. So we don't know how the story is going to play out yet. I do want to wait for all the facts. I don't like any police department, so, I'll modify my comments when I see more facts. But as of right now, I have a reason to believe that the lawyer took this case and put the case out for a reason. He must have been able to obtain some footage or some kind of definitive proof that let him know that he had a strong leg to stand on in this case. So I know that it's going to create controversy, me taking the standard position, but I'm going to side with this attorney and pray that he's, that he's not making an extremely amateur and unprofessional mistake as far as taking on a case without having the full range of facts. So, you know, at worst, I believe that he's put out pictures that haven't, without giving a lot of explanation as to, what the marks are. And I believe that maybe he should have done that because these are, it provides a little bit of sensationalism. And it allows the story to go all over the place, something you really don't want as an attorney. You want to keep it kind of focused and directed on a certain set of objectives. You want to have an agenda. So I don't know what's going on with that. I don't, what's his agenda? I think he should have done it a little bit better, maybe a little bit sloppy in the way he put it out. But I understand passionately putting something out and just trying to get a general idea out to the public as far as what's going on. But I think if you're going to call for someone to be terminated, give the full facts. Don't let social media decide the story. As a professional, you should be dictating the story. So that's just kind of my say on that. No, in no kind of way trying to admonish this attorney. If he's a good guy, he's a good guy. In no kind of way trying to admonish this African American king from doing his job. I'm sure he's good at his job. I'm sure he's helped out some families. He seems to be a contributor on some networks. So I'm just hoping everything comes out clean with this. Okay. He's not somebody that, oh, let's see here. Okay. Let's see what he's talking about here. Okay, yeah, he just has a lot of stuff on his. This is what he does. Okay, this is just kind of what he does, and he puts out information, and he also defends people. So this is his lane of work, and what he does. Um, Again, I'm sure he's a great guy. Don't know him. I have my own issues with the bar. I'll just say that as far as that entity and their influence of power in the United States of America through our judicial system. But that's just my take on the bar. Lee Merritt has nothing to do with the bar. He has no influence, control, or power over that. But I'm guessing he's a well-known attorney. He's not going to just put his name or brand out there on the line if he didn't think that he could do something to help this girl Leah, and if he didn't have definitive proof. So I'll be eager to find out what happened. But I've given you all of the information from, I was on this very shortly after it broke, about an hour after it broke. After he put up this post and it started going viral, like when the numbers were still low, I was on it. So I've watched, things come into the comment section and fizzle out over time. I followed it through the night. And I'm doing a video today about it because I still see nobody's done any kind of substantive video that's explaining what's going on in the situation. So now you have a full rundown of the situation. Let's keep an eye on Lee Merritt and what his next move is going to be. We'll keep an eye on the Harker Heights Police Department and what their investigation is going to be. And hopefully we'll get a press conference here with Lee Merritt and Leah, and we'll find out the true identity of Leah and, be able to hear her side of the story, her voice of the story, and a little bit more of what happened. All right, so there it is, guys. Make sure if you like this video, you like, share, subscribe, get all the information out there to everybody that's talking about this right now. Let them know, that there is a place they can go on YouTube to find all the facts of what's going on right now, and as much of the facts as possible. Some of them I gave you my speculation and opinion, so let me be clear about that, and I'll let you know at those parts when I did. So but as most of this is just the facts that are out there as of right now, we'll see where it goes. So like, share, subscribe, like, share, subscribe, like, share, subscribe, or like Richie from Boston says, or don't. Doesn't matter. Whatever you want to do. But I would love to have you on for future videos for All Rights Matter TV on YouTube. I'm going to be doing a lot more of these cases and following a lot more things in the year 2018. And if you'd like to support this channel, go to the description box below. I have an area there for donations. $1, $2, $5, $10, anything helps. And if you want to go, really support the show and support your family, go to mcafamilyfirst.com. Sign up today. mcafamilyfirst.com. MCA Family First is in the description box below. Let's say a prayer for everybody involved in the situation. And remember, guys, stay alert, stay alive. I'm out.